crimes issues under President George W. Bush. Ambassador, thank you so much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. So what is the solution here? I mean, there's no right answer. There's no good answer. Are you concerned, as I am, about what both the act of the war crimes and the definition of a war crime with regard to Putin and some of the Russian leaders does to possible peace?
Well, Dan, thank you for having me. I think you're absolutely right. The actions of the Russian military, the Russian government, as well as the rhetoric surrounding all of this, has narrowed the avenues for resolution. And as a result, it will be more difficult to achieve peace. I do think it's important to highlight and shine a light on atrocities as they are occurring. But we also need to keep in mind what our larger objective is, at least the more immediate objective is, and that is to end the fighting, end the violence, end the killing. And then from there, we can move to the question of justice, because justice will always have an opportunity to prevail.
But how do you do that, Ambassador? I mean, how do you balance those things? How does, on the one hand, how does Zelenskyy sit down and agree to certain concessions, be they territorial or whatever the case may be, in the wake of what's happening? And the flip side of that is, how does Putin agree to a deal without saying, okay, well, part of the deal is going to be that you guys have to, promise not to pursue any sort of war crimes against me? Now, it wouldn't be up to the people necessarily in that room, but how do you deal with all of that?
Well, that is the exact complication, and we've seen this in the past where nations or nations and non-state actors have had to try to resolve issues. We've seen them reach deals such as amnesty, which I don't agree with necessarily. But what we have here is, as I said, the avenue has been narrowed. So what is going to have to happen is there will have to be accountability based on the actions and what has happened. But what we will see is on both sides some maneuvering or showing of flexibility in all likelihood. And what we'll have to see is how far up the chain of accountability these processes go. Will it go all the way up to Putin, or will it be limited to field commanders and others? But it'll be hard for Zelenskyy to simply sit down and agree to something that will not satisfy his population or satisfy the cause of justice.
Yeah, I mean, look, accountability, I think, is the critical phrase here. And you know this stuff much better than do I. But I just don't see how Putin reaches any kind of agreement that involves any kind of accountability for any Russians, of course, including himself.
Well, exactly. And it's very unlikely. First of all, aside from the issue of accountability and agreeing to accountability, what will be the mechanism? Finding a mechanism to prosecute those responsible is a large task in of itself. The Russian government, the Russians will not agree to the International Criminal Court. They will not agree to the Security Council arranging an ad hoc tribunal, and they would not recognize the jurisdiction of a Ukrainian process. So this leaves us in an area where we're talking about achieving accountability. We're talking about prosecuting war crimes, yet we do not know exactly how that will occur. So the result, as you point out, is there will be a negotiation that has now been complicated by this issue. But it is important to point out the activities that have been taking place and call for not only them stopping, but call for a process that will achieve justice.
Yeah. Look, I get it. There are no good answers. Ambassador Pierre-Richard Prosper, thank you so much for coming on the program. Appreciate it.
Great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.